the whole point of my lives is to inspire you to think outside the box and to try and do things that are different. So I painted this small, how big is it? I need my glasses. It's a 6x6 board, and just so that you can see what I'm doing on it in an easier way. And right here I have a modeling paste, and you can choose any kind of modeling paste. This one happens to be Master's Touch, and you can get those 50% off. Thank you for the shares, Betty. And all I'm going to do is, and I purposefully painted this black because I wanted you to be able to see, because white on white is kind of difficult. And all I'm trying to achieve is a base for my pumpkin. Now with the modeling paste, and you can use any kind. I know Liquitex does a very good one, but for my purposes, using it as a base and not really to sculpt with, this is fine. Just need a little bit more. And this has to be done ahead of time if you're going to do what I'm planning on doing. And what I want is to create some texture for the base of my pumpkin. Trying to cover up all the black. So I'm just patting the knife down, the palette knife down, and then smoothing it over just to give it texture, because that way when you want to use it for to age something, you've got plenty of texture to use it. I'm going to close back up my modeling paste, because that's all we're going to do with this. And make sure you keep it well covered, because it does tend to dry out. Then you set this aside. It does need, hi Gwendolyn, how are you? Hi Lisa, how are you? You need to set this aside for many hours. I usually leave it overnight. And what I end up with, and this is one that I already did. Let me just put this one down. And I prepared it last night, not knowing what I was going to use it for. And then do you remember last week when we were doing the luminary? I had some of these TR33s left over from that. So this is great for leftover projects, especially if you're doing a small project. Yeah, I don't usually do well with texture, Betty, but I was working on some things over the weekend, and I thought I haven't done texture, so let me try it now. And I'm looking for my heat gun. So what I decided to do was create a pumpkin, which I did here. Let me see if I can get a different colored board. Can you see better on this? I'm just going to show you the shape that I did. This isn't burnt. This was me practicing with a color. So this is what we're going to achieve, hopefully, today. I'm going to move it out of my way and start working on this. It's just something different, Betty. How many things, when you're doing daily lives, it's hard to come up with different things every day. So I'm looking to do my pumpkin on here. And the first thing I'm going to do is kind of the letter O. And you can do this with any leftover wood you bend. Because I'm sure we all, when we're using it, look at how easily it bends. For those that have never used Would You Bend, this is amazing. Now I don't need mine to be big because I'm going to fit it on here and I need room for the stem. So maybe something like this. I'm going to heat it up again, but off the board, and I'm going to cut it. And then I'll shape it. Thank you, Betty. That's right. Please, the more you comment, the more you sprinkle, share, and hit the emojis, the better Facebook will like me. So I'm just warming it up a little bit, and then using my knife, I am going to make a cut. Sorry if you can't see. Well, first of all, I made one huge mistake. Let me heat it up. I forgot one thing. I thought this was too easy. And that is to turn the, make sure that the, I still need, it took me a little bit to control it. I want the trim to lie flat like this. I don't want it on its side. That's what I forgot to mention. Yes, it does. We actually have 1885 followers right now, so that's good. So I've got this bit down. Let me just check it again because it was not flat. Well, I just snapped it off and it worked. So I'm just going to sand the edges down because I want them to meet well together. One of them is cut and one of them is I'm going to glue it. Yeah, I do too. I think it's amazing, Betty. Yes, and it's okay if some glue leaks out. I don't care because we're putting it on texture anyway. I hope you've all had a good weekend and that the weather's not too bad. I'm just going to hold it there for just a few minutes. So remember, when we get to 2,000, I'm doing a giveaway. And the giveaway is a Posh Chalk infuser, which is called the Magic Potion. And it doesn't matter whether you put this at the top or at the bottom. I'm just trying to form it so it's not quite as pointy at the end, but that will do. And then I want to check if this one will fit. All we're doing is an O and a C this way and a C this way. So I'm just going to put this here. And there are many things, I thought of stems, and there are many things you can use a piece of wood you bent for the stem, or you can use, if you have broken, haha, Gwendolyn. I actually miss mine when he goes away. I really do. It feels too lonely. So let me heat this up again. Thank you for the hearts. This piece may not be big enough, but I need 10 hands. And I'm just going to form this around here. So I'm going to make a cut here and a cut there so that it will look, this might be a bit too small. Let's do the other one and then see, but I just want to form this shape first. Wait till it cools down for a few minutes. Today is really warm in Boston. I meant to remind you, don't forget, on Wednesday I will not be live. I will be at the hospital with Maya. Once this cools down, then we can, oh, actually it doesn't look that bad. So I'm just going to cut both ends, and if it turns out that it's too small, that's okay. It's a rustic pumpkin. So I'm just going to cut it here so that it fits around here. See that? And do the same to the other end. Even these bits, I do not throw out. And I will post a picture or do a reel for a mirror that I did. See that I can glue this on like this. And you can do as many sections as you want. I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3 sections. Let me do the second one, and then we'll glue it. I have a show in a town called Resin, I think. I'm going to cut it similar to this one. But first I'm forming it. They don't have to be the same size. No problem, Betty. Take your time. And this is still warm, so I'm just trimming this. For the first one, I actually used the O to trim it down, but I got lazy with the second one. So I'm just going to cut it here. And I still have some wood you bend left over, despite all of that. I'm just trying it out. Okay, it may be a bit too big, but doesn't have to be a perfect pumpkin. Well, it does, not really. And actually, I might put this at the bottom. This moved on me, so I'm just flattening it out. Yeah, I have an art show. You know, I do recycled glass and shattered glass canvases. And I signed up for this show in Rentham last year. And I actually did one last year, and I did very well. Now I've jinxed myself in it. I had a lot of people give me, ask me for special commissions. So it was fun. Plus it's something different. I've done a couple of shows in Westwood, with the town I live in. Although this is a very rich town, people have money. They don't spend it on art, unless you're a famous artist, and I'm far from famous. Oh, thank you, Betty. Okay, so this one is done. This one I'm going to attempt to glue. So let's just put some glue, and then we can leave it to rest. And I like working on glass because I'm not cutting into my mat. So I'm just going to do this. And when I woke up this morning, I had no idea I was going to be doing this. I knew I wanted to use texture for a canvas, but no idea until I saw Solly Joe. So there's one part of it. I'm just straightening it out. And it's actually sticking to the... I've never attempted this before, by the way, either. When I say I've never attempted, I mean putting it on a textured surface. Oh, I'm going to cut it without... Oh, and I did the cut on the wrong end. I told you I was lousy at mitering. So let me see. This one is that way, and this one is inside. Okay. It's a good thing I cut it bigger than we need. So this one will work here, and then this one needs to be cut that way. I even have problems with mitering when it comes to ribbon. So now I just have to glue this on, just like this one. This one is a little bit bigger, as you can see. And I haven't glued that on, but we'll just continue with this one. I should warm it up first, shouldn't I? Oops. I'm just going to hold it. takes just a few minutes to cool down. I'm just going to maneuver it a little bit more. And then we'll decide on the stem. And because I have texture, it's okay that it's not perfect. It's supposed to be a rustic pumpkin. Now, you can either leave this and paint in between, or you can use any leftover, I think it's 22.85 or 22.95, and cut out the circle and then glue it on here. But this is just one way. You can fill it with broken wood bends, which would also give it another texture. I'm going to leave it like this because I do want to see the texture below it, but I need to add my stem. And I have this piece of wood bend that's also broken. And I'm going to use that for the stem. And I'm just going to cut around it. Might have to trim a little bit, but and I'm going to use this stem like this. I might need to cut a little bit off. I want to cut a little bit off here unless I bring it down. Hold on. If I did the stem this way. No, I like it this way. Or you, as I said, you can use a piece of wood bend and you'd cut that and fit it. Or you can use a thicker piece, the bits that you have. And what I chose to do was to paint my, not paint, but using this antique wax. I decided that I was going to place my wood bend on it. I'm going to paint a little bit oh, this one's moved because I didn't heat it enough. I'm going to paint the inside. I'm thinking blue. And I'm trying to find the right blue. A very, very light blue. Maybe this one. This one is Martha Stewart that I got on clearance. It's called Droplet. I just wanted a light, light blue. So let me see where my... This is my messy plate. Let's see. First, let me glue it, actually. And I didn't shake my paint up very well. The other thing you can do is you can add some stones. Like I got these, and look at the look it gives you. We could do that as well, actually, rather than paint it blue. I actually like this color. But we need to paint the would you bend. So let me think, what color do you think the would you bend? I'd like to try, let me see. What color do you think would go well? Maybe we can do a blue or a green. Let me see. I just thought of that. Not yellow. Oh, maybe a brown, a brownish aged color. And if I thought about it, I would have gotten it out earlier, but I didn't. Let's try brown Van Dyke, actually. We seem to be losing people today. Well, there's always a replay, right? And I just need my cloth. And I'm going to show you how to use the antique, the Van Dyke brown. I don't want to paint it. I don't want to. I just want to use the Van Dyke brown Posh Chalk by Posh Chalk. It dries quickly. Whilst it's drying, I will show you what to do with the how to age the texture, and it's very, very simple. I should have brought a piece of paper, but I didn't, to put underneath so I don't mess up. So is this a project that you might try with leftover would you bend? I'm just painting it straight out of the can or jar. And whilst it's drying, I'll show you how to get the texture. It's supposed to be very rustic looking. Almost there. Obviously, when you're doing it, if you decide to do it, you would be taking more time than I am. And we're going to highlight it maybe with a reddish, maybe with copper actually. And then we can add resin as well. But I'm worried about the plaster, how it would take resin, but I've decided I want crushed glass inside. So let me put these away. That didn't take any time. Thank you, Amanda. So let me just wipe this off and bring this over. Okay, so as I said, I used the Antique Wax by Plaid, and the reason I'm using this one and not the brown wax, patina wax by Would You Ben, is because I need to keep this water-based. Hi Laura, how are you? So, all I did, and it was very, very simple, just apply this on. There are different ways. You could use a glaze with a Van Dyke Brown or a raw umber finish. Paint. And you can make it as transparent or translucent as you want. So I'm just liberally trying to get in all the grooves. And with a cloth, I'm just going to wipe back. And you can wipe back as much as you want. You can leave a lot on it, or you can... It just keeps the it has the texture. The texture then tends to stay in the crevices. It's Wednesday, Laura. And then I'm going to do the edges because I don't like, look at how stark white the edges are. And it's supposed to be more of a rustic piece. And as I said, you can mix your own glaze. I was a bit lazy and decided not to. And if you feel you've left too much on, you can wipe back with a damp cloth too. Let me add some more. And I know people think, oh, she's wasting a lot of paint, but that's the only way. I'm not wasting it. I'm just getting the tone that I want. We used to glaze walls all the time. And you have to remember to keep a wet edge when you're glazing or waxing like this. And it's amazing how you get your inspiration. As I said, I was watching Solly Joe do the bow this morning, and I thought, oh, pumpkin. Put this back. And doesn't the frame look so much better now than it did earlier when it was all white? Now you can wait a couple of hours and reapply another coat if you don't think this is dark enough, but I'm happy with that so far. On this one, I did take off more than this one, but I had more texture on this one. Let me see if this is ready for copper. Yeah, I think I'm going to do copper. This is not dry yet, but I'm going to do the pigments with copper unless I have left over from when we used it on, well, let's make a fresh batch because I can't see it. No, I don't have any. Okay, so we're going to use the Posh pigments and the Posh infuser, which I've put in this bottle, but you will get in this. Oh, that's okay, Betty. That's all right. It's, you're helping me out and you're so gracious in doing so. And where did I put my, okay, this is going to have to do. I had a little container of empty container that I brought. I'm just going to put a little bit of copper right in here. And we're going to add the infuser and get, I'm looking for a rather bigger paintbrush. And actually, let me make sure this one is dry. This little guy is not dry. And when you heat up the Posh metallic paste, Posh chalk metallic paste, the smell that you get is amazing. So now I'm going to put this here, add some infuser, and look at it. I haven't even started mixing it, but I think I'm going to need a little bit more. But look at the liquid copper. And let me just mix it with this brush. And I made more than I needed, actually. I should have put it in a pot. But that's okay. Mix it really well. Oops, that's okay. I even got some on one of the stones. So I'm just going to use this and just highlight. Just to bring out the details. Make sure you get the second part of the pumpkin on the inside. And now it's beginning to look like an old antique piece of copper metal. I'm just going to set it down for a moment and do this. And look at the details, how it brings those out. There's nothing like it. I know I'm biased, but it's true. So let me put this somewhere where I won't drop it. And let's get back to, this is still a bit wet, so let me just dry it. And I want to remove this and put it here so that I can reuse it before dropping it, she says. Oh, thank you for the hearts. I'm going to glue it down, and this will help it dry when I heat it up. And I'm going to have to bend it slightly because it's rising up here. Okay, I'm going to put it here. And if there's texture, that I'm fine with that. It's still a bit sticky. I'm getting it's harder to, actually I should have moved it, because now it's equal. Okay, now it's equal. The texture won't, the glue won't really show up when you have this much texture. I'm just going to heat it up again. Oh, thank you. I can't see who said that. Thank you, Laura. I don't throw out any of my would you bends, none of them. I keep the smallest ones. Oh, this one needs pushing down, sorry. I did not see that. It's still warm. And the wood you bent has adhered well to the modeling paste. Let's try this one now. I might add a little bit of more paste, not paste, wax. And usually working with these smaller pieces, I'm going to wait till it cools down before I add any. Thank you. Thank you, Betty. Just making sure everything is not lifting because it's still warm. So just a few more minutes. Till it cools down. I'm going to hold it up so that you can see. You can leave it like that. Or, you know I can't leave it like that. You can add of course I don't know how to pour correctly. So we'll put all of these here. I should have put glue at the bottom, but I didn't. Let me just get a paintbrush. They're very small pieces, so it's rather tedious to pick them up, but I'm going to add some more. Just one, I'm not being picky, but I want to fill all the holes. And I have a huge hand, so it's easier for me to just add them in one by one. And these are really good stones because there's different shapes, so you're not stuck with one. There's one here. Let me see if do you see any gaps anywhere that should be filled? Because seeing it from my stand, from here, I just have to fill in a couple, just this area. How does that look? Does that look quite full? Yes? No, I don't use a rock tumbler. When I break my glass, I use this, where is it? I have a sanding block. Oh, this is it. I use this, and I individually sand down each piece of glass. Like, I still have, like, say I just cut this, I just go like that. And it smooths it out. So it's relatively simple. These, by the way, were not sharp at all. Okay, do you think we should put some glass at the bottom? I think I'm going to resin it now rather than wait. And I probably don't need more than half an ounce. What do you think? A sharpening stone, yes, that's it. This is a bit too, oops. Is it missing any pieces anywhere? Is anyone seeing missing things? I just want to touch up here because there's a bit too much gold. I mean the copper. I'm just making sure that I have everything where I want it inside here. So what do you think? Okay, so let's put some at the bottom. Let me just get, and this would give it some time to dry. Let me just get the, I told you when I started, besides the texture this morning, that's all I knew. Then the pumpkin came from Solly's inspiration of the bow. And then I had different options, but I decided I would go with glass because I love glass. So let me get some small glass. I had no idea where I was going with this. Just get some small glass. Do you think gold might look odd? Because I want to use the smaller pieces because it's a small piece. Well, let's try it anyway. I think I should have moved this a little bit. Yeah, I think I like that better. And I might need to chop it off. Let's see, I'm just cutting them smaller because I don't want them to be too big. And I'm finding pieces of glass everywhere. So just bear with me. I might have to put them individually here. The corners, what would you do with the corners? You mean put glass on the whole thing? Is that what you mean, Betty? One of the ideas I had, and this might sound a bit stupid, but I found some copper pennies on the floor. And I thought that would be great to fill a pumpkin. But it would have to be larger than this for it to make sense. That's too big, too big. I just want a little bit here. I should have moved it up a little, but let's see if I can cut this one up. I should glue these on, shouldn't I? Yeah, I just thought it would be different, Laura. You know I'm all about being different. I just want to make sure I have down here covered before I bring up the because I don't want resin flying all over the place. So I'm just making sure. Well, how does it look? Oh, that's beautiful. Do you have pictures, Gwendolyn? I'd love to see pictures. I wanted to do my bathroom downstairs with some pennies on the floor. My husband freaked out. And the only reason he freaked out was because usually I don't tell him what I'm doing. I just do it. But this time I made the mistake of saying, oh, I'm thinking of doing this. And if I don't say anything and I just do it, then it's too late. Okay, does this look good? I'm going to lift it up. Greens, what kind of greens? They'd have to be rusticy greens. Let me think. What do I have? The only thing I can think of is the vitrograph. Hold on. Let me see if I... Oops. I touched the plaster. Okay. I have some vitrograph. That might be a great idea, Betty. I have this color green. Where we could do a little bit of green here, or this color. This is translucent and this is more opaque. So, oops. So I could do a bit here, or choose which one, the transparent or the opaque. Actually, I think I like the opaque. Let's do that. She does. She is amazing. She's really incredible. She puts me to shame. It's like, why didn't I think of that? Either on this side or... And let me get another piece of... Hold on. Let me get another good piece, maybe this one. I don't want to cut it over the... If only this is a bit too thick to put right here. Or actually, I might be able to... No, I need another piece. A thin piece. I might have one here. That might work. I don't want to lose my stones, though. How about this one? Let's see how that works. That one could work, Betty. Unless we do that. Yeah, that one might work. but it won't cut with this one, so I'm going to have to cut it with this one. Okay, so we've put this one here, and I might have to change this one with this one. I don't know why I'm having a problem cutting this one. Okay, right here. How's this? Is Betty saying she doesn't? Yes, she does. We do inspire each other, true, but also you come up with the most brilliant ideas, Betty. So let me put these away so that we can I don't want to break them. So I'm going to raise it up and let you decide if we need anything else. There is something that's bothering me, and is that this does not feel attached. Okay, now that's better. I just felt that this was kind of not coming from the pumpkin. So what do you think now? Okay, so we're ready for resin. I think I will do an ounce of resin. Let me just move these because I think they may have moved. And let me get something to put it on. That's too big. Too big. Oh, maybe this will work like that. And I need to close up my posh chalk. And let's get the resin and the gloves. So let me move this and this. I need a stirrer, even though it's an ounce. So let me move it forward. Okay, then that's perfect. Let me just let me see. The smallest I can do here is 1 ounce. Let me see this one. 1 ounce. Okay, I'm going to use Gwendolyn's cup. Let me just make sure I cleaned it out with some alcohol. We're going to put 20 and 20. Make sure it's all dry. And I need to put a marker maybe 10 and 20. 10. Maybe I'll just make, no, I'm going to make 10, which is right here, and 20, which is right here. Hello, Chanel, how are you? So I'm just going to measure. Oops, oops. And I put too much in. I was looking at the screen. Let me just pour some. I can afford to pour some back in here because there's only one thing in it. And I just want it to settle down. I still need to pour some out. This is the hardener that I'm pouring in, and it doesn't matter which one you do first. You just have to wait for it to level out. Okay, that's 10. And you don't want to waste your resin. Okay. Betty, do you have your clock? Do you have your phone to time me, please? Okay, and we're done. Just going to clean my... I'm great, thank you, Chanel. Okay, and we're going to start, I need gloves as well. And I'm going to stir. And remember I said that it's always, it gets, when you're mixing resin, when you put the two together and start mixing, the mixture is cloudy. And then once you've done everything, it will clear it. Once you've mixed enough, it'll get clear. I remember when I first started doing resin several years ago, and by the way, you mix slowly. You didn't just mix for 3 minutes. I used to have to mix for 15 minutes. So we have a huge improvement, which I'm really happy about. See, it's beginning to clear. So if you have any questions, by the way, please put them in the comments. I do try, Facebook permitting, to go back and respond. And I'm waiting for Betty to give me the green light. Oh, thank you for the hearts. But these glass pieces are so autumny in color. I'm tempted to do the second one using Byzantine gold pigment. Okay, thank you, Betty. 1 minute left. And seeing how the two do the same exact thing, but just use the Byzantine gold. And when you're resining these vitrographs, especially if you're leaving it hanging in mid-air, time's up, okay. If you're leaving it hanging in mid-air, like this, you really need to be so careful. I mean, stand up to make sure that you have it all covered. See how the colors are popping? I just want to make sure that this has. When you drizzle, you can control where the resin goes. Just want to make sure that the bottom did I not just finish my sentence? I think I may not have. I want to make sure that the bottom gets, I'm dripping here, but that's okay. I can cover it with my gloved hands. And I want to make sure that I have enough for here. And then I'm going to use my hand to make sure I have it all over. No blank spots. I did feel something here. Oh, I felt one. Again, I need to push this back. Just going to hold it up and make sure. I want to do the sides as well because I have enough resin for the sides. Let's put this one back. Just trying to make sure. I don't want to use this, but here it is. So I'm going to let me take my gloves off. Hey Dolly, how are you, my friend? Let me throw those out. Yes, you absolutely could, Betty. You definitely could. It's a fun project. It'll look better when it's dry tomorrow. And before, oh, I forgot one thing. We need to blow the bubbles. Although in this one, if there are bubbles, it doesn't matter because it's a textured, aged surface. Thank you. So I'm just going to clear out the bubbles. And it was fun, and it's something that's very easy to do. And if you've got leftover, I mean, this is all I used was my leftover. Would you, Ben?